Welcome to the 21st episode of The Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii on MSP Waves Radio. You're listening to us live on MSP Waves Radio, hosted by the Minnow Support Project, a community of Steemit users who are dedicated to supporting each other through mutual support. And tonight, we are here to talk about my Electric Forest experience. So first off, I have to apologize for everyone who was expecting a Road to Electric Forest show last week. I tried my hardest to make it work, and it just was not working out for me last week, unfortunately. Couldn't get it to work out. There were circumstances beyond my control that kind of prevented me from making that happen. I was really excited about it too, and so were my friends that I was in the car with. So it kind of sucks that we couldn't deliver that for you guys, but I'm here now, and I'm hoping that you guys are here with me tonight to learn all about my experience and why Electric Forest has become such a huge part of my life. So, before I do that, let me just start the show off with some music. You guys who have been tuning into my show know that I like to start it off with music, so let's do that for you guys. Oh, come on. Music. Let's see. What shall I play for you guys first? Alright, I have the perfect song to start this track out for you guys, or this show, I should say. This one is called FTS by Showtek. If it'll play. Oh God. Come on. Let's play. My computer's lagging right now. Sorry, guys. Well, this sucks. So, last time you guys tuned in, I was having some technical difficulties, and I made sure to restart my computer this time, but I'm still having problems right now. And I don't know why. It's kind of bumming me out. But I'm working through them right now as we speak. And hopefully we can get this figured out for tonight's show. Let's pray for the best, I suppose. Here we go. There's the music that I've been waiting for. Alright guys, this is FTS by Showtek.
I live for hard style, baby. Come on, let's go.
All right, everyone, we are back. Again, that was FTS by Showtech. So, tonight, if you're just tuning in, I said that tonight is going to be all about my Electric Force 2018 Weekend 1 experience and why, after just spending a whole week in Michigan, Electric Forest is now my new favorite festival, and Electric Forest is now my number one top priority festival that I absolutely must go to every single year from this point on. Oh my god, it was so amazing. Before I begin, I do have to give a proper intro now. My machine was kind of on the fritz a little bit earlier, and so I couldn't quite collect my thoughts, and so yeah. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii. You're listening to us live on MSP Waves Radio, hosted by the Minnow Support Project, a community of Steemit users who are dedicated to helping newcomers to the Steem blockchain achieve success through community building, networking, and mutual support. I'm DJ Damashii, also known as Rodeo670 on Steemit, and you're tuning into the 21st live broadcast of the Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in to the previous 20 episodes. And thank you, of course, to everyone who's tuning in right now. Before I begin, I do have to inform you all that MSP Waves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station. The material on the Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii is provided for educational and informational purposes only. Alright, so, the trip, this Electric Forest trip was amazing, magical, mind-blowing. I can't even think of enough words to fully describe everything that I experienced. First of all, it was like, I don't know, a 25 or 26 hour journey from Salt Lake City to Rothbury, Michigan. Most of which I must admit I was asleep for. I had to get my sleep in. Yeah. But it was a great trip. It was a long journey, but we were all very, very happy to be there. Hey, Kyle, Bailey, Shalom, well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, so tonight I don't really have a set outline for this show. My mind has honestly still been all over the place since I got back. I'm kind of having a hard time processing everything still. And so are all my friends that I went on the trip with. So I don't think any of them will be able to guest on my show tonight. But I'm really hoping that I'm able to still pull off a successful and coherent show for you all tonight who are tuning in. But anyway, the first thing I'd like to talk about is when we finally got to the festival grounds on late Wednesday night. Everyone was just so happy. Everyone that we looked at, everyone that was around us, was so happy. We got into line. We got into the line for the car searches. And after we got our car search, the car search was a, relatively quick and painless experience for us. We got through that search real quick, and then we got into this long ass line of people actually trying to get into the campgrounds. Traffic had kind of stopped for a while, but it really wasn't an issue for anyone because people were rolling down their windows and getting out of their cars and just kind of it's kind of vibing with everyone in line and sharing in this beautiful, wonderful experience. And everyone was just so happy to finally be on the festival grounds and just inside the Electric Forest experience. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that. Everyone was just happy, and when the cars finally started moving, everyone started cheering, and everyone was just ecstatic that we were finally making progress towards, finding our actual camping spot. And when we finally did find our camping spot, my group was in the group camping, and so we finally found our spot and parked our car. And some of our group camping members had fallen asleep already because it was pretty late when we got in. It was probably around close to 3 a.m. on Thursday morning. Hey Brian, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it was probably close to 3 a.m. on Thursday, and so we parked our car, set up our tent, kind of chilled out with everyone that was awake for a little while, met up with the camp members who I had never met before, all the people who had come from the East Coast. And yeah, we got to talking for a little while, got to know each other, got introduced. A lot of people in the camp were already kind of fucked up already. and so yeah, my best friend Hudson and I were still, because we had slept for most of the journey there, we were kind of still wide awake, and we started on our little adventure and decided to check out the pre-party at the RV area, and it was pretty fun. They were going pretty hard. That pre-party was really fun. We met some pretty cool people over there, and people were just hanging out with all their booze and all their bags of wine and sharing it with everyone and just having a really good time. And the music was great and the people were great. And so Hudson and I ended up partying at that pre-party well into the morning hours until the sun rose. And by the time we got back to camp, some of our camp members were already starting to wake up, and Hudson and I were just like, well, let's try and get maybe an hour or two of sleep in before everybody else wakes up and it's time to actually start the day. And so we did. We passed out in my tent, and I had intended on getting maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, but I guess my body just kind of woke up once I started hearing everybody else outside my tent start to talk. And I heard, actually that's a lie. It wasn't the talking that woke me up. It was the sound of sizzling bacon and the smell of bacon cooking on the grill, because my friend my friend. Alright, we're back, everyone. And again, that was One Last Night on Earth by Dada Life. Alright, so tonight we've been talking about my electric forest experiences. And let's see. I just got done talking about waking up on the first morning of Electric Forest. And yeah, so we all just kind of hung out for a little while, and then we decided to go in. And that first night was just amazing. I mean, I really had no idea what to expect. Walking into the festival, obviously, was the first day, so there were long ass lines. But we powered through it, and we made it through security and everything. And I mean, everybody. One of the things that really stuck out to me through that whole entire experience is that everywhere I looked, everyone was just smiling and laughing and just genuinely happy to be there. You know, like, I mean, the long line thing was never an issue for anyone because everybody was just there with their friends and having a great time, you know, and people that were there solo were talking to random people and making new friends. And yeah, it was just such a great experience, honestly, and I loved every second of it. And so yeah, we finally got in there. We set up our little meeting point and set up our hammocks and stuff, and told everyone, you know, if we get separated, here's where we'll all meet up, and we went on our way. You know, we kind of just explored the whole grounds together. And it's funny because I had a plan, you know, my schedule. I had my schedule set up, and I really wanted to see too many zoos that night, but they were all the way on the other side, and yeah. And so one of the things that the forest veterans that I was with, that were in our camp, they were pretty adamant that none of us first timers should cross into the forest without being blindfolded, and we shouldn't cross back until night fell. And so we kind of stayed on kind of like on the Tripoli side of things, and the Sherwood Court side of things. I think it was Sherwood. No, it wasn't Sherwood Court. What was it? Ranch Arena. That's what it was. We stayed on the Tripoli and Ranch Arena side of things until it kind of got late enough that everyone was assembled and we could all be blindfolded and led through the forest. And that was a great experience, honestly. It was a very interesting experience for me because that was, I don't know, it was this huge exercise in trust. You know, I had never met this person, my friend Charlene, who's my friend now, who ended up guiding me through the forest. And yeah, I had never met her until that day, but I allowed myself to be blindfolded and completely walked through this distance, you know, by her. And and so yeah, we walked through the forest completely blindfolded. It was so weird because I didn't know where I was stepping. I just constantly felt like I was about to bump into someone, and I was about to bump into people, and it was just this really disorienting experience for me. But I got through it, and everybody in our group got through it, and it was a great experience, a great time. And so we stayed in the Sherwood Court area for a little while until night fell. And finally, when it started to get dark, everyone was like, all right, we can go through the forest now. And oh man, let me tell you, walking through that forest for the very first time at night without having seen it in the morning, you know, when there was daylight out, was just mind-blowing. It was truly a magical experience. I mean, everywhere I looked, it was just like flashing lights and colors everywhere. And man, let me tell you, that forest at night is a true psychedelic heaven. Like, I can just imagine what everybody who was on drugs that night would, you know, was experiencing. Like, yeah, yeah, it was just, I was like a kid in a candy store, honestly. There was so much to see, and my mind was just being kind of pulled in like every direction, and it was just so magical. So magical. Yeah, I after that point, seeing the forest at night, I fully understood and appreciated this first timer ritual that that Heidi and everybody else that was a forest veteran insisted we undergo, because yeah, I honestly can't imagine having seen the forest first in the light, for the first time. I'm really, really glad I got to see the forest for the first time at night. So I'm really glad we got blindfolded. And I really, really think, I really fully believe that that should be a first timer ritual for everyone. So all my friends that I'm bringing next year, expect to be blindfolded the first time you walk through the forest, because that's totally going to be a thing. Alright, we are back, everyone, once again. That was Imaginary by Brennan Hart. Let's see, where was I? I don't even remember where I was before I started that song. I think I was just talking about how night had fallen and we finally got to explore the forest for the first time. And wow, what an amazing experience that was. So yeah, we kind of just like spent most of that first night walking through the forest and, you know, really taking in a small fraction of what it had to offer. After that whole entire trip, by the way, I still have yet to experience 100% of what that forest had to offer. And they're like the forest veterans in our group who've been going for years and years, still haven't experienced 100% of what the forest has to offer. Like, that's just how insanely vast that place is. And yeah, it's just pretty crazy, honestly. But yeah, eventually we all kind of made our way back. We made our way back to Ranch Arena to see Galantis, and wow, that set blew my mind. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like, the Galantis set from Electric Forest was harder than I had ever seen Galantis go. I was definitely not expecting that kind of a set from them, but everyone was loving it, myself included. What up, Josh? Thanks for tuning in, dude. Yeah, I was not used to hearing that kind of sound from them, but they went so hard. And I loved every second of it. And they were doing like this live drumming thing too that was really, really sick. And their drumming was like timed with these flame jets at one point, and like every little beat that they made would shoot fire up into the sky. And yeah, it was just wow. Yeah, everything about that whole night was just amazing. And then we all went home after that set ended. At least I think we went home. I don't quite remember right now. But yeah, we all went back to camp, and we decided to check out some of the after parties going on in the RV area, which was pretty cool. Yeah, shout out to Panky Rang Productions for putting together that party bus in the RV area, and for providing us with after party entertainment after Electric Forest proper ended for the night every night. Yeah, such good vibes, honestly, all throughout the night, all the way until the sun rose. And yeah, it was just a really good experience, honestly. And there were secret sets too in the after party area. I didn't get to see any of them because a lot of times I was just kind of pooped out and wanted to hang out in the group camp area afterwards. And yeah, it was just great. But anyway, the second day, man, that second day, what did we do that second day? I want to say that second day was... What I remember from that second day is that my friend Ryan decided it was Pirate Day, and so we both kind of dressed up as pirates. I had my own little version of a pirate outfit. I wore my old Navy uniform and had my bandana going across one eye like a, I don't know, kind of like, you know, like a wounded pirate or whatever. It served as my eye patch. But, oh my god, why is the second day such a blur to me? I really don't remember. But I want to say that the second day was the night that we saw Max in Jubilee. And I don't know. That might be the third day, honestly. But my god, friends who are watching right now, who were there with me at Electric Forest, jog my memory, please, if you're still tuning in, and let me know what we saw on that second night, because right now my mind is drawing a blank, and I really, really do not remember for the life of me who we saw. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm still kind of in recovery mode right now. My mind has been all over the place since I got back, and yeah, I really should have worked harder to plan this show out better and have an outline and try to recollect everything that happened. But yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna play some music for you guys while I try to collect my thoughts for a few minutes. So here's "Rock the Party" by Jaws. Back, everyone. Once again, you just heard "Rock the Party" by Jaws and F Word. Alright, so now that my memory has been jogged a little bit, I now remember who all that we saw. And I also remember the reason why I don't remember seeing too many people that night. So we saw this artist named Betty who I'd never seen before in my entire life, and I'd never even heard of her. But a bunch of my friends were really excited about her, and we're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna be there, like we're gonna watch it, and so I was like, you know what, this whole Electric Forest experience for me, part of it is about discovering new artists and enjoying new music with friends. So I decided to go, and a whole bunch of our group decided to go check it out, and wow, what an amazing experience that was. I loved it. Like, super high energy. Crowd interaction was amazing, and she just really was such an amazing performer. And her music was just so good. I loved every second of it. I was dancing, and I didn't even know any of the words to her songs, but I was kind of singing along here and there. It was really good. And then, so the reason I couldn't remember earlier what happened that night and what all we saw was because actually, we spent a lot of that night actually just walking through the forest and exploring the forest for much of the night. And so, yeah, there was that part of that. Because there was so much to see in the forest, honestly. And I can't even stress that enough. Despite exploring a lot of the forest that night, we still didn't get to see everything. But anyway, towards the later part of that night, when it got darker, we went back to the observatory, and we managed to catch the Desert Dwellers set. And wow, that was such an amazing set. I don't even know how to describe their sound, honestly, but it was great. I had such a great time, and it was the kind of music that just kind of really, like, made you want to get, like, really down, like, deep down and, like, close to the ground and stuff. I found myself really kind of getting really low as I was dancing. But yeah, I had never seen Desert Dwellers before. I had heard of them, and I had kind of heard maybe like one or two of their tracks before. But that was such a great experience for me to see all of that, and so I was really happy about all of that. Let's see. What else did we see that night? Let's see. And then there was Grizz. That Grizz set was so good, guys. My whole crew was vibing out to it a lot, and then for those of you who have been following Grizz for a while, you'll know that he recently embarked on this new, like, creative artistic venture with, like, spoken word or something like that, and he decided to insert that towards the end of his set, and unfortunately, a lot of people weren't feeling it. A lot of people didn't quite understand what was going on, and I heard a lot of people around me, kind of say that it was killing their vibe, and a lot of people started to leave, and I decided to stay because I could kind of understand the artistry of what he was doing, and I don't know, in my in my mind at that night, the state that I was in, I was kind of forming bits and pieces of what he was meaning by the things he was doing, and I decided to stay to try to enjoy his little artistic experimentational venture. But eventually I made my way back to the meeting point, and my friend John, who was still at the hammocks, was like, "Oh, dude, everybody literally just left," and so I made my way to go see Jaws at the Tripoli stage, which was amazing. I definitely needed that sound. I definitely needed that vibe after the kind of weirdness that Grizz ended his set with. And Jaws just went so hard. Yeah, and it was actually me playing that Rock the Party, as well as my friends chiming in the audience, that jogged my memory a little bit about what happened that night on day 2. So yeah, thank you guys for reminding me. But yeah, I closed. All right, we're back, everyone. And again, that was Levels by Avicii. All right, so day 3. Day 3, I dressed up in my little hippie outfit, and we actually got there earlier than the previous 2 days, and we were able to catch the last little segment of William Black's set. which is really good. And by the time we got there, we were in line actually for the last little bit of his set, and we were we were digging his set and like vibing out to it so much in line that we were all just like, man, we should have gotten here sooner. You know, we should have been here for his whole set. And I believe my friend Warren was the only one that was there for his whole set. Maybe Bailey was there too. I don't quite remember, but yeah, it was such a great set. And but anyway, after that, we all kind of just like hung out for a little bit, um, and then let's see. And then my friend Revan sent us a message that he was already at Jubilee at the front rail, kind of reserving our spot for Max's set. And so we were all like, oh yeah, let's all go see Max. And I had never seen Max before, and the only time I had even heard of the name Max was, you know, for Elenium's track, Beautiful Creatures. And so I was just there like, you know, like, yeah, new experience, let's do this. And wow. All I can say is, wow, I'm glad I decided to go watch Max's set with them. Because it just completely blew me away. I was front rail the entire time, and I was just enjoying every song that he was dropping. From the moment Max came out, I knew it was going to be such an amazing show. His stage presence is just phenomenal. His command of the crowd is unparalleled. And just his energy and his vibes were just so amazing. He was constantly talking to us and you know, constantly getting feedback from us, and it was just so amazing. Such a great set. The only kind of complaint I have from his entire set, the only complaint I have is that he did not play Beautiful Creatures at all. And I know that everyone in that crowd was waiting for that track. I know it. But aside from that, it was such a perfect, beautiful set. And I'm so glad I was there to see it. After that, though, after that set ended, we left and we kind of all like split up a little bit for a little while. And we all said that we would meet back up at Sherwood Court to go see the Glitch Mob. And the Glitch Mob, let me tell you, whew, I have been wanting to see the Glitch Mob for years, but I had never seen them before. And so, for me to finally get a chance to see the Glitch Mob, I could not pass this up. I really could not. And so we all met up, and you know, we all kind of made our way into the crowd, and we just kept getting closer and closer as the set progressed. And man, the energy at that set was just wow. It blew my mind. First of all, the Glitch Mob sound, I had been listening to the Glitch Mob for years, but nothing could have prepared me for what they actually sound like live, guys. I mean, like, their sound is just so all-encompassing, and it just kind of wraps itself around you, and there's no escaping it. Like, I don't know, I legit felt like the Glitch Mob just kind of abducted us all that night. Like, their sound just kind of took us somewhere else. You know, it really did. And the energy in that set was just so primal, I think. And everybody was just really just dancing as hard as we could. And and later that night, actually, my friend Michael and told me that, like, he just looks over at me during that Glitch Mob set, and that was, he said, that was the hardest he had ever seen me dancing in all the time that we had known each other. All right, we're back, everyone, and once again, that was "Here We Go" by the Tweakers. All right, let's see. So, actually, before I go on into the rest of that night, during Max's set, actually, we met these really cool people. There are these two sisters named Hope and Sierra from Michigan, and their camping neighbor Alex from Iowa. And they were such cool people, and yeah, they were some of my favorite people that I met that weekend, actually. But anyway, after the glitch mob, we went straight to what's it called? See, sorry guys. Like I said, my mind has been all over the place right now. I'm kind of having a hard time processing my thoughts still. But so after the glitch mob, we went back over to Ranch Arena and hung out for a little while and got to experience like the last, I don't even know, half hour or hour, or I don't really know how long we were there for, but the last segment of Zoo's set, and man, that set was amazing too. From what, like, we didn't go into the crowd, but we were kind of just like chilling out by our hammock area and playing with flow toys and just enjoying the set. And yeah, that set was just so dark and deep and very like, and just so full of energy. One of the things I remember from that set, actually, is a bunch of us had to go use the restroom at one point, and there was a long ass line, and so we were all just waiting in this long ass line to use the restrooms, and next thing we know, we hear this like really sick, filthy drop from Zoo, and everybody in line just starts dancing their ass off hella hard, and we're all just enjoying our time, and we all just kind of look at each other and like, everybody's dancing right now, and that's really what the music is all about, just kind of letting it flow through you and just starting to move when it hits you, and enjoying the company that you're with, and just enjoying the fact that everyone around you is enjoying the music as much as you are. But yeah, anyway, after Zoo's set finally ended, some of the people decided to walk around and explore for a little while until Bass Nectar started. And yeah, Bass Nectar though, wow, Bass Nectar. So first of all, the one huge scheduling conflict that I had an issue with once the schedule finally came out was that Bass Nectar was scheduled at the same time as Casbo. And I had really been looking forward to seeing Casbo, because that's one of the artists that my friends Warren and Brandon introduced me to earlier in the year. And I fucking love Casbo's music. And so I was really looking forward to seeing Casbo this year. But then the schedule dropped, and it was like, oh look, Casbo's on at the same time as Bass Nectar. Wow. Because as much as I would have loved to see Casbo, I've been wanting to see Bass Nectar for years and years and years and years, but I've never had the opportunity to see him until this year at Electric Forest. So of course, my heart was with Bass Nectar. Of course, I had to go see Bass Nectar. So I went and saw Bass Nectar. And man, let me tell you, definitely the right decision for me, because Bass Nectar blew my mind, guys. Like, now, after seeing Bass Nectar live, I finally understand why Bass Nectar fans go apeshit over him. Like, I really do understand now what all the hype is about. I really don't know what else to say about that, other than the fact that he just blew my mind, and I wish you guys tuning in All right. We're back, everyone. Once again, that was Beautiful Now by Zed. So, after we saw Bass Nectar, we kind of, hey, what's up, Carson? Thanks for tuning in, dude. Appreciate you being here tonight. So, yeah, we kind of split up a little bit, and some of our group went to go see Vortique, and some of us went and like explored elsewhere, and some of us went and saw San Hollow for a little while. Yep, and then that was the end of our night. San Hollow was pretty cool. We kind of all just ended up walking around, and we met up in the Nest after everything was all said and done, and chilled out for a while. And then at the Nest, I bumped into our friends that I had met during Max's set, Hope, Sierra, and Alex. And and so I got to talk to them a little more while we were waiting for the rest of our group to get there, and I learned a little more about them, and I was like, hey, we should all like meet up at some point tomorrow and hang out and stuff. And and so it was pretty cool, because then they met up with the rest of our friends, and we all kind of just like vibed well together, and it was just really, really cool. Yeah, and I ended up spending like most of the last day with them, actually. Yeah, it was awesome. But anyway, yeah, we all went home that night and just kind of hung out, and I ended up not going to the after parties that night. I kind of just stayed at the group camp with some of our other friends. Some of our friends went and partied at the group camp, or not at the group camp, at the after party thing. I ended up staying for the rest of the night, yeah. I guess I was a little pooped out, but it was cool. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen, you know, that kind of stuff. But the next day we the next day we all kind of trickled into the forest in separate groups. There were some people that wanted to be there like as early as possible to kind of set up our base of operations first, and I completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. So I was saying we all kind of went in there and trickled in separate little groups. I got in there with some of our other friends just in time to catch the end of, or maybe like half of Kids Waste set. And I had never heard of Kids Waste before, but once again, my friends Warren and Brandon introduced me to it, and they really were passionate about it. So I was like, yeah, let's go check it out. And sure enough, it was an amazing time. You know, that's one of the things that I really loved about Electric Forest, guys, is that I discovered so much new music through my friends who were so passionate about these artists that I had never heard before. And it was just such a great time. But yeah, after that, we all kind of just like walked around kind of aimlessly a little bit. Yeah, and then, yes. And while we were walking around aimlessly and kind of hanging out in our little spot, our meeting spot, we bumped into my friends that I had made on day at Max's set, Sierra, Hope, and Alex. And so they met, you know, the rest of the crew, and we all just kind of vibed really well together, and so they ended up spending like pretty much almost the rest of the day with us, and it was just really cool, and I was happy to see that, you know, they were getting along well with everyone, and yeah, we all kind of just like sat around and chilled out for a little while, and I think we were hanging out in Rancherina. It was either we were hanging out in Rancherina and just kind of enjoying the music. I don't remember whose set we were just kind of hanging out for, but they were playing some really cool music, and we were all kind of just like dancing around and doing our own thing for a while, and it was a lot of fun. But then it came time for Shallow's set, and Shallow was a set that I really, really wanted to see, because Shallow was another artist that my friends Warren and Brandon introduced me to, and I was like, well, since I missed Casbo, I absolutely have to go see Shallow to kind of make up for it. And so we all kind of mobbed over to the forest stage to go see Shallow. And it was just such a great time, guys. Honestly, it was yeah, I was so happy that I got to see Shallow live, and I knew so many of their songs because I'd been listening to them for so long. So I was like singing and dancing along to a lot of their set, and it was just such a great time. All my friends were loving it, and yeah, it was great. It was so great. We all kind of trickled in, and the rest of our friends found us, and yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna play you guys another track here. Let's see. I think this song actually is a really good song that kind of expresses the whole summertime vibe of Electric Forest. So this is Year of Summer by Wild Styles. Alright, guys, we're back. Once again, you just heard Year of Summer by Wild Styles. So, we're talking about the last night of Electric Forest. And, whew, man. So, after we went and saw Shallow, Shallow's set ran into Boogie T's set, and we all really wanted to check out Boogie T. So we got there, we mobbed all the way over to Sherwood Port and watched Boogie T's set. And some of our friends weren't really quite feeling it, and so they decided to go walk around and explore on their own for a little while. And then, you know, the rest of us stayed there and hung out during Boogie T's set and danced our asses off, and, you know, just had a really good time. and yeah, it was really fun. We stayed there until the end of Boogie T's set, and we even hung out for a little while after that, and just waited a little while longer for G Jones, who came on right after Boogie T. And man, I'm kind of losing my train of thought right now. Sorry, guys. Shit. Sorry, guys. Drawing a blank here. Mine's all over the place. But, yeah. I was saying we were sticking around for G Jones's set, and we ended up staying a little longer than I expected to. I had this plan. It's funny because I had this plan of how my night was supposed to go that night, right? I was supposed to do something very, very special during Rufus Du Sol's set. And that didn't quite happen, unfortunately, because we stayed way later at G Jones's set than I expected to. And yeah, it sucked that my plans didn't end up happening, but you know, as they say, everything happens as it's supposed to happen. So, yeah. I was happy, actually, because later on, I realized why it had to happen that way. But, basically, we ended up not meeting up with the rest of our friends for Rufus Du Sol's set. I wanted to experience that whole set with all of our friends because everybody was going to be there. But I ended up by myself for like a large chunk of that set, which, you know, I ended up enjoying completely. I loved that whole thing. Yeah, it was such a great time, honestly. I ended up meeting some new friends that night, you know, and I some new friends which I never would have met if I hadn't gotten separated from my group, you know. And yeah, my phone had died, you know, so there was no point, like, there was no way for me to be able to find out where the rest of my group was and where they were all meeting and where they all went. So I just enjoyed the rest of Rufus Du Sol's set, and I was singing along to all their songs, you know, because I've been listening to them for a while now, and I love all their songs. And next thing I know, I hear this voice behind me singing along as well. And so I turn around and I look, and this chick is just like singing along, singing her heart out, and I just smile and point, and I'm just like, fuck yes, you love this shit just as much as I do. And she just smiles and nods and continues singing, and so we made that connection, and then we just kind of started like chatting each other up throughout the rest of the set as we danced and sang along to Rufus Du Sol's set. It was great, and so after Rufus Du Sol ended, we talked to each other a little bit more, and I come to find out that she's actually coming to Salt Lake City, I think next month, she said, because she's a tour manager, and her band that she's managing is coming to Salt Lake, and so we exchanged contact info and stuff, and I told her to hit me up when she comes through town, and we'll hang out and stuff, and I'll go see her band, and we'll have a good time. So there was that connection made that night that never would have happened if I had, just stuck with my friends like I had planned to. So that was really cool. And but anyway, when I told her, I was like, well, I've got to go see if I can find my friends now. Um, and so we parted ways, and I went back to our little hammock spot that was our typical usual meeting spot. And I didn't see any of my friends there, of course, because it had probably been like maybe half an hour since the end of Rufus Du Soul's set. So silly me for thinking that my friends would still be at our meeting spot, right, when there was still so much music to experience that night. Of course, I, not having a schedule, didn't realize that there was still so much music to experience that night. I legit thought that Rufus Du Soul was closing out Electric Forest. So I kind of just started walking around and making my way towards the exit. But I was kind of lost at this point. I really didn't know where I was going. My mind was going all sorts of places. And so I ended up bumping into this group of people and asking them, like, hey, do you guys know if this is the right way towards going back to group camping? And they were just like, oh, yeah, hold on a second and let's find out for you. And so in this whole hold on a second moment, we started talking and we got into this conversation. I don't remember what it was about exactly, but we kind of just started talking, and I ended up getting this conversation with them. And next thing I know, this long conversation happens, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to head over to Mala now," and I'm just like, "Wait, Mala is happening right now?" And they're like, "Yeah, dude, let's go. You want to come with us?" And I'm just like, fuck yeah, I want to go see Mala. Like, I'm not trying to go home right now. Like, the only reason I was trying to go home is because I thought the night was over. And so we went over to Tripoli, and oh my god, let me tell you guys, Mala's set. I had been waiting for that kind of sound the entire weekend, and I'm so glad I bumped into these people who brought me to experience Mala, because wow, oh my god, wow. Like, I don't even know what to say, guys, honestly. It was just so amazing. I mean, I thought I was done for the night, I thought I didn't have any more energy, but then as soon as I heard Mala's sound, all the energy just kind of flooded back into me, and I was right back there going hard as fuck for the entire night, for the rest of that night. Yeah, and wow. And I was just vibing real well with my new friend Juno and her friend Nicole, I think it was, or Nikki, I can't remember what she went by. But yeah, their group was just so amazing, and they're from Indiana, and yeah, we kind of just like vibed real well and hung out for the rest of the night until the end. It was so good. It was such a good set, such a good night. Whew. Yeah, my throat is kind of dry now, so I'm gonna play a song for you guys so I can take a break to drink some water real quick. So yeah, here is "No Money" by Galantis. Sorry. All right, we are back, everyone, and once again, that was "No Money" by Galantis. So, oh my God, where was I? um, oh right, I was talking about my law, and I was talking about my friends that I met while thinking that the whole thing was over, and I was trying to find my way back to group camp. Um, yeah, but they were so cool. We made such a great connection with each other, honestly, and we just started talking about a lot of stuff. And I traded candy with Juno, and she had never she didn't really know how to do it, I guess. And so, as you guys know, who have been listening to my show for a while, know I love one of my favorite things to do when I am at a festival or a rave is teaching people plur, and actually teaching them, not just showing them the hand signs or going through the motions, but actually taking everything step by step and explaining what each one actually represents and symbolizes and embodies in our culture. And um and and Juno really loved it. She just loved it. She had never been explained it, she had never been taught that before, and she didn't really know how to do any of it, or what it all stood for. So I'm really, really happy that I was able to teach someone that, and hopefully it stuck with her, and hopefully she takes that with her next time she goes to an event, and, hopefully in the future she teaches that to someone else. But yeah, that was a really cool part of my night, honestly. And like I said, it was a part of my night that never would have happened if I never would have gotten separated from the rest of my Forest fam group. Hey Daniel, how's it going, dude? Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you being here tonight. And so yeah, it was just so amazing that I got the opportunity to teach plur to someone new. And she gave me this really cool soda light bracelet, and blue is my favorite color, so that was, that blew my mind. It was amazing to me that she gave me a soda light bracelet. But yeah, after that we ended up kind of just exploring the rest of the festival grounds for a little while, and just walking around. And we had actually left the festival grounds and made our way back to the camping side of things. And then Juno realized that she had left something in the lockers. And so she was like, oh, I got to go back and grab this thing because it's really important to me. And I was like, I'm going to go with you. There's no reason for me to not go with you. Yeah, we're all the way out here already, but there's no guarantee that my friends are going to be in camp already, so I might as well just follow you. And because I was just enjoying their company so much, honestly, I really just didn't want to leave them alone and stuff to go do that on their own. So we walked back and kind of explored the festival grounds a little more and made our way to the lockers. She retrieved her stuff, and we kind of just spent the rest of the night exploring the grounds for a little while longer. And we took some pictures, and looked at a little more of the art installations, which I never would have explored on my own, probably, or I never would have gotten to explore if I was hanging out with my Forest fam for the rest of the night. So like I said, I was initially really bummed out that I ended up not connecting with the rest of my camping fam for Rufus Du Sol's set. But I now understand that everything happened for a reason, and everything happened the way it was supposed to happen, because I'm so glad that I met Juno and her friends, and we just had such a great night for the rest of the night. Yeah, so there's that. Oh, and one of the coolest things happened, actually, when we were walking around taking pictures. We went and took a picture at this butterfly art thing, and I went and did my little pose, and she took my picture. And there are these two people sitting down on this bench right in front of it. And as I was done taking the picture, this guy just randomly talks to me, and he's like, "Hey, are you from Utah?" And of course, what a random ass question to ask me, right? And I'm just like, I'm so like taken aback by this question, like, and I'm sure the look of shock on my face is like evident at this point because he was smiling, and I was just like, wait, like, how did you know? Like, that's such a random question to ask me, like, and so he looks down he looks down a little bit, and so I look down and I realize that the fanny pack that I'm wearing has a snowbird logo on it, and I'm just like, oh, because snowbird. And so, hey Anna, thanks for tuning in. And so I realize at this point, I'm just like, yes, that is why this random person is asking me if I'm from Utah, because I'm wearing a fanny pack that says snowbird. But like legit, guys, for like a good minute or two, I could not for the life of me piece together why this random dude had asked me if I was from Utah. But then he was like, yeah, dude, we're from Park City. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, what are the odds that in this festival of several thousands of people, from all over the world, I would just happen to randomly bump into these other two people from Utah, and that they would realize that I was from Utah because I was wearing a Snowbird fanny pack. Like, thank you, Snowbird, but man, yeah, that was a nice little highlight from my night. But anyway, we talked for a little while and we exchanged contact info. And I told him to hit me up sometime, like, I'm always down to hang out with new people and make new friends, always. Because that's like, to me, that's one of the things that life is about, is just meeting new people, making new friends, and gaining more people to experience this wild ride with. Like, and that's one of the reasons why I love raving, and that's one of the reasons I love going to EDM festivals and music festivals, because you just meet such amazing people that end up changing your life forever. Like, oh my god, I'm starting to get kind of emotional right now thinking about all the people that I have met since going to EDC last year, and how all these people have really just impacted my life, and the role that they have all played in just really, man. Sorry guys, I'm I'm kind of getting really emotional about this right now. But oh my god. Whew. Whew, breathe. Whew, okay. Sorry. I'm going to you know what? I'm going to play a song cuz I'm starting to yeah, I'm just, oh my god. Here is Rave After Rave by W&W. Alright, we're back, everyone. Once again, that was Rave After Rave by W&W. So, Electric Forest, guys. I do believe I have just finished talking about the actual festival experience, festival proper. But anyway, after that, I finally got back to my group camp, and all the rest of my group camp mates finally started trickling in together, and we just, a lot of people, we hung out for a little while, but then people decided that it was time to get some rest because of the long journey ahead the next day. But my best friend Hudson and I decided that we were not done partying that night. And, let me tell you, Hudson and I literally partied our asses off, danced our asses off, all the way until the very, 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 very end. We ended up back at camp at like 8:30 in the morning on Monday morning, and we hadn't gotten any sleep. And by the time we got back to camp, our campmates were already waking up. Some of our campmates had actually already left to go back home, and everybody saw us come back, and they're just like, "Have you guys been up all night? Have you guys been partying all night?" And we were both just like, "Yup." And everyone's like, "Man, you guys are crazy." And I just like, I don't know, man. I just really wanted to go all out on that last night, and just really party my ass off and enjoy that whole last leg of the journey, because I think Hudson and I both knew, we were just like, dude, we're not going to be here for a whole nother year. Like, we need to dance our asses off and get our money's worth in or whatever, and just experience this whole thing to the fullest, like literally to the end. And man, it was great. Like, I'm so glad we decided to do that, because like the music just kept on going, and the music was great. But yeah, after that, it was just, the reality started to set in, because walking back to camp, we saw people starting to really pack their stuff away, and I was just like, man, I'm not ready to see this yet. I seeing people starting to pack stuff up means it's really, really coming to an end, and it's really starting to end, and people are really starting to go home, and I just really wasn't ready to see that, man. I really wanted it to go on forever, guys. Honestly, the magic of the forest just really was something else. It was something special, and I just, to this day, like, being back here, back home in Salt Lake City, I long to be back in the forest, guys. There's a part of me that honestly wishes I could have actually done both weekends this year. Like, I really don't know what else to say other than the forest has my heart and soul, guys, and it will forever be my #1 music festival that I really, really want to come home to every year. Like, I've determined that, even though I want to go to as many music festivals as possible every year, if I have to sacrifice a few of them so that I can make Electric Forest happen every year, then that's what's going to have to happen. Because Electric Forest is something I feel that everybody should really experience. It's just truly, purely magical, and the vibes in the forest are unlike anything I've ever experienced. And I've been going to music festivals since 2009, guys. I've had my fair share of music festival experiences, and none of them compare to what I experienced at Electric Forest. Everyone was just so kind and generous and giving and just so beautiful, guys. Like, everyone was just such beautiful human beings, and I just loved every second of it, and I really can't say that enough. I can't stress that enough. Everybody in our group camp was just such amazing human beings, and I love them all so much, and I just, wow, and so to the friends that I made at Electric Forest, to the friends that I met in Camp Rabbit Hole, and to the friends that I got to develop a stronger bond with at Camp Rabbit Hole. You guys are amazing, and I love you all so, so much, more than words can ever fully express. And I'm getting so emotional right now, even thinking about it, because of how much you guys mean to me, and how much I can't wait to see you all again next year. And so I'm just going to go down the list of everyone that was there with me in Camp Rabbit Hole, because that's just how much you guys mean to me. And so Bailey, Brandon, Sabrina, Charlene, Greg, Heidi, Hudson, John, Kendrick, Revan, Michael, Nick, Parker, Rob. Man, all right, everyone, we are back. Once again, that was This Is What It Feels Like by Armin van Buuren. And we're coming up towards the end of tonight's episode. Yeah, this is, whew, man, this has been such an emotional episode for me, guys, because like I said, man, I love Electric Force so much, and I'm going to be back every single year, and I can't wait to see all my friends again. But yeah, I just wanted to say before I end this show, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Everybody who's tuned in, you guys are all awesome, and I really love that you choose to spend 2 hours of your night every Wednesday with me here. I can't thank you enough for being here, seriously, and I especially would like to say thank you so much to Global Cop and Rondon and the station managers here at MSP Waves Radio for allowing me to have this show and for supporting my efforts every step along the way. You guys are all awesome, and I could not be here, pulling off successful shows every week without your help. And so, this is the end of the 21st episode of the Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii. And you've been listening to me talk about my Electric Forest experiences. And before I do end, I just want to say thank you especially to Bunk Police for being at Electric Forest, albeit quite incognito. I'm really quite disappointed that they didn't have a more official presence there. I'm disappointed that they were kind of forced to not have a more official presence. But I'm so grateful that Bunk Police was there, in their little incognito mode, and that they were there, distributing test kits to people and helping people test their substances. Because this is a subject that I haven't really quite covered on any of my shows. It's a subject that I've kind of avoided because, like I said, I want to kind of shift the discussion away from using these kind of substances because that's not what our scene is about. Despite the mainstream perception that is the spirit of raving and the spirit that we all feel and why we're out here, dancing our asses off every single time. So here you guys go. This is called Ordinary Life by The Prophet. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tune in next week for my next show.